Hello, welcome to my tech farm. I have a 3D scanner in this video, and this is the Revopoint Range, and these two boxes are sent to me by the Revopoint in exchange for a review. Now, currently when I'm recording this video, it is still on Kickstarter. Don't forget, Kickstarter is not a web shop, but I can see the project was founded even the first day, and even the previous scanners were also on the Kickstarter, and the project was founded successfully. Until the Mini was designed to scan small objects, and in combination with the turntable, it has very big precision. It has some disadvantages. It uses that blue light, so we cannot scan black or dark objects. For that I had to use this scanning spray. And it has very small view angle, which is good for smaller objects. Until the range was designed to scan big objects mostly from the hand. Something between would be the Pop 2, but I don't have that scanner, so I cannot compare. Let's see a few specifications. It uses the infrared structured LED projector, and with this it can scan big objects faster. The warping distance is between 0.3 and 0.8 meters, and the single frame precision is up to 0.1 millimeters. Single capture range is 360 by 650 millimeters. And it also has a RGB camera for full color scanning. Let's see what's in the box, then we will test it later. It was boxed in the box. And this was in the box. This turntable is big, half meters in diameter. And I have here the power cable and power adapter. The output is 24 volts, 3 amperes. And this is the remote controller. And on this side we have the power switch. This is plug for the power, and I'm not sure what is this. And this was content of the second box. This is the scanner itself, a small tripod, USB-A to micro B cable, and this is some other communication cable, USB-C to USB-A adapter. And these are some marker point stickers and maybe some storage bag, and we have this mobile phone holder. Here we have the input and the output, and there is a button too. I'm not too big fan with these holders. This spring is really strong, but here we can attach the scanner. This is the front side of the scanner, and on the back side we have this play button and one connection for the USB 3.0, I think. For the connection with laptop I will use this longer cable. For the mobile phone is this shorter one. And I just got the information that Revoscan 5.0 will be soon finished, but currently I have this 4.3.1 version. I can see the connection is established, I can see the picture from the RGB camera, and also this is from the depth camera. This turntable is really huge. Okay, you know him if you watch my previous scanning videos. I always try to scan at least the head, but this time I will try to scan the whole object. The remote controller works, but it is not so clear how it operates. I will just turn it on and leave it rotating until I do the scanning, but first I have to do some settings. So this is too close, and approximately what is this 0.6, 0.7 meters is the correct distance. And I can see I will have a problem with the eyes because you cannot see the black color. I will use this scanning spray I got with the Revo Mini, but you can use, I don't know, baby powder or something like that. And now the eyes are also visible for the scanner. I will not use the screensaver during this operation because I will need the maximum power from the laptop. Watch the green area on the screen. It covers more than half of the objects, so for the software it is easy to follow the position and align captured frames. This is the point cloud, looks very promising. Of course, from the bottom I couldn't scan it in this position. Pitch point, let's say 0.4 millimeters, I'm not sure. Smaller pitch point needs more processing power. Fusion is completed. And now let's create the mesh, only I want to enable to fill the holes. Rest I will leave a default so far. Meshing completed. For this it needed approximately 2 minutes. Wow, this looks great. Even this white powder is visible on his eyes. Not bad from the bottom either. This is the mesh mixer, which I like to use for cleaning of this kind of parts in the scanning objects. Very often I'm using to fix the surfaces, but here it's not necessary. Now from the bottom, I don't like this surface, which was automatically filled because we had the hole here. So far I'm very happy with the result. So this was my absolutely first attempt in the first pass, and I have a great result. The only problem which I don't like here is this bottom part, because it cannot be seen in this view angle. This part here. It came out almost good, but let's see if I can scan this in 2 passes. And again, I will not use the screen recorder, I will just do regular time-lapse, because I need maximum processing power here. Here I'm repeating the scanning, and after a few rotations I'm changing the position of the object so I can scan it from the bottom. And this is the result. Again, in a mesh mixer I'm removing these unwanted parts. And then I'm importing it to slicer. I have to scale it down to 20%. And I'm rotating it to be normally in vertical position. 4 legs on the plate. And then I'm cutting bottom 1 mm so I have flat surfaces for the better grip. Printing on Prusa Mark III's using the supports. And cute surprise to my daughter, and she was amazed with it. Side by side 2 scanners, Mini and Range. For curiosity I tried to scan this small object which arrived with the Mini scanner, but definitely this is too small for this Range scanner, which has a very big view angle and don't have enough points to fuse together those frames. This will be our next object, and here we also have these black surfaces, but I noticed that they are visible on this camera. Scanning of this object, which has these black lines and points, was successful, probably because these black surfaces are not shiny. Fusing completed. Fill holes. And mesh is prepared. Oh, and this looks really great. Don't forget to click this button if you need textures in your exported files. It has a texture too, so basically this can be imported into, I don't know, Blender or something like that, and it can be animated too. So this can be used not only for 3D printing. In few seconds I will show you this object animated in Blender. OBJ export type worked to me, but use bigger pitch point to have smaller file size, and don't forget to generate textures too. Let's try to scan a human face, and I hope she can stay in one place at least, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. Actually, she cannot stay in one place 100%, but that's not the biggest problem. Here you can see these objects around her head, and the reason for this is that curtain was too close to the scanning object. But this is not a big deal, I will remove it later in a mesh mixer, and I'm analyzing the surfaces here, which is acceptable but not perfect. And this is the mesh mixer, so again first I'm removing these unwanted objects, and then importing it to Prusa Slicer. I'm scaling it down and removing this bottom part to have some kind of statue. And when I zoomed in I noticed some unequal surfaces on her face. So I decided to fix this up a little bit. Back to the mesh mixer, and here I'm using the smoothing brush tool to fix these surfaces. Well, after the second attempt, my daughter got bored and she didn't want to help me anymore. My other members of the family, they helped me, but they don't want to be in the video, so I don't have recorded footages with this camera. But here are my conclusions. First of all, we don't want to have objects near the scanning objects, like that curtain in my case. And second, when we scan the head, we don't need so many loops. The front of the face should be only in one loop. Otherwise, on the second or third rotation, the position of the face will not be exactly like the first one, and it will be moved relatively to the shoulders. First, I thought that my daughter, she's a kid and she cannot stay in one place. But then I noticed that even other persons, when they rotate and accidentally, they will watch the scanner and rotate ahead a little bit. Maybe it is better if their eyes are closed, but best if we start from the back side and then do one rotation. When the scanner is on the front, then do a little bit moving to get the bottom and the top of the head, and finish again on the back side. In that case, you will get much better results. I also noticed that some darker parts of the hair may be problematic or something like that. Well, scanning of my head would be very easy if I would have an assistant who will help me with this. Well, that's enough from the theory. Let's try it in practice, and I found a volunteer who will help me with scanning of my head. But she don't want to be in the videos, so I'll try to place the camera that she is not visible. But anyway, you will see the process and I will show you the final result at the end. And what you see here is our absolutely first attempt following those instructions I mentioned earlier. And this is the point cloud. This is the mesh with filled holes. And this is with prepared textures too. But sometimes from the textures we cannot see the real shape of the object. So let's see it in the mesh mixer, and here I want to clean some unwanted surfaces. And I'm very happy with the results. I'm not happy with my ugly face, so I will not upload this file anywhere. And now let's try the mobile scanning using an app and a smartphone. And for this we have this grip, which is actually a power bank too. This is the input for the charging and this is the output to give the power to the scanner. On the back side there is a button. If we press it, then we can see 4 LEDs if it is charged or not. USB Type-C goes into the smartphone. And this is the power for the scanner. Revopoint, I'm using the Android phone here. Okay, skip the intro. I will not use the screen recorder because I need maximum power from the smartphone. The using is very simple. So this is the home. These are the projects already scanned earlier. And we have here some additional settings, and I'm connecting now using the USB mode. There is a possibility with Wi-Fi connection, but this is much faster. And don't forget to change here the export file type to STL before the scanning. Home, and from here we can start a new scan. The warning that scanner cannot be powered from the smartphone, but use the external power, which I'm using here. And it's ready for scanning. I noticed that outside it is very hard to use it, maybe because of the sun. I tried to scan that slide behind me, but even the sun is not shining too much, the weather is cloudy, but I cannot have a successful scan outside. So let's go inside. I was thinking if I really want to scan something outside, I can do it at the night. It starts raining, but I will just do a quick scan of the top of the slide. And I already checked, I have a great picture at the night. I will try to use the screen recorder so you can see my scanning process, but as I mentioned, only of the top of the slide. I don't think it is waterproof, so this is my luck. It just started with the raining, but I wanted to finish this because I'm recording this when everything else is prepared. I want to publish the video tomorrow, but anyway, I will show you the footage from the screen recording, so definitely much nicer picture we can get at the night compared to the daylight. I just came inside and here I can see that I have much better picture. Outside I couldn't even get the picture of my hand from any distance. So definitely this infrared looks like disturbed by the sunlight or something like that. But inside it is good, so let's try to scan something. I saw they scan a lot of furniture, so I will try to scan this chair, at least the upper part. This is a time lapse of approximately 2.5 minutes, and thanks to this bigger view angle I had no problems with scanning, because it has enough space between the frames to overlap and to connect them. And this is the point cloud, which looks really promising. So let's fuse the points together. Fusion completed, and for this it needed approximately 5 minutes, so it is much slower than our computer. But definitely this looks great. Let's create a mesh. Are you sure you want to fill holes? Yes. Mesh completed, and this again took approximately 5 additional minutes. I will export this file and import to the laptop so I can use the screen recorder to show you the details. In the last step it is not so obvious. Where can I export this file? In project list I can see the file. I can open it and I can see it on the screen and it looks great. And actually from here I can start the share, and with this I can upload it to Google Drive, for example. And then I can download it to my laptop. But when I unzip the file I can see it is in PLY extension, which I cannot use. So only now I know that before the scanning it is important to set the export file type to STL, and only then start the scanning. So one more attempt. And this is a recorded screen from my mobile phone and speed up 10 times. And this is how it looks like in the smartphone, and then I was able to export it to the Google Drive, and this time I have the STL file too, which I can clear and import to the slicer. Don't forget, if you need colors for the animation, then enable the texture too. Several times I saw that they advertised this range scanner for scanning cars. So I'm indoor now and I will do just few test scans and then I will make conclusions. But I don't want to record because there are a lot of cars and the registration plate cannot be seen in the footage. So this is the distance I need, and it covers approximately this area. And I noticed that it cannot cover this big surface because it is flat. In this case I have to use the marking points and a lot of marking points on it so it can fuse together those frames. You can see the markers. Well, after maybe 1 hour of experiment, quick conclusions. Well, it is possible to scan a car, but definitely not even close like in those advertising videos. First of all, you cannot do it on the daylight, but even white or grey color or shiny color, it cannot be scanned. So definitely I have to use a lot of scanning spray, and on correct distance it covers approximately 30 or 40 centimeters. So if you have this bigger flat area, it cannot be recognized frame by frame and they cannot be stitched together. So in that case we have to use a lot of marker points. So shortly, yes, it is possible, but one part at a time, maybe one element, and I use a lot of scanning spray and marking points. It would be good to see some kind of tutorial video by Revopoint, how can we correctly scan the full car, properly with this method which I mentioned, and maybe similar tutorial video, how can we scan a full human body. The conclusions, well, let's start with the turntable. Huge, very massive, it can really hold 200 kilograms, it can hold my weight too. I still don't know what is this plug for. I didn't got the answer from the Revopoint, and I'm not sure is this the final version of the remote controller, because in their video I saw they used a little bit different one, because this is a little bit confusing, doesn't work 100% correctly in my experience. About the software, as I mentioned, soon the 5.0 version will be finished, but I use the older version which works, but I would like to see a little bit more options. For example, a very useful option would be to at least remove those noisy objects from the scanning, so I don't have to use the mesh mixer or other software for this. Also, it would be good to have some kind of undo function to go step backwards. Very often I prepare the mesh and I forget to fill holes. Now about the scanner itself. If the object has a lot of featured geometry and it is in scannable color on surface, it works great. You saw that in my first scanning. Absolutely first attempt, without any practicing, I could scan the whole objects without any problems. In second attempt, I just tried to do in two positions, and that was successful too. If the object is not in this scannable color, too shiny, black and similar, in that case prepare that you have to use some kind of powder, white powder or scanning spray on it. So definitely very useful with this kind of scanner. I think the Pop 2 has the same sensor, so there you can use that too. Now, if the geometry is too big and a lot of flat surfaces, in that case it cannot align the frames, cannot recognize they are next to each other. In that case, even you have to use marker points. But I think these marker points which arrived in the kit are a little bit too small. They work great with the mini scanner, but here I think we need a little bit bigger points because they're hardly visible on the scanning. And definitely I would suggest to Revopoint to create or 2 or 3 very detailed tutorials how can we scan a car, a full body and maybe some furniture. Because I have the feeling with the car definitely we have to use the scanning spray almost all the time, especially on black surfaces, but shiny surfaces are also very hardly visible, and we have a lot of flat surfaces there. And for example, in that tutorial we need information how big is the density of these points. I think they have to be spread randomly, so don't use like a grid, because in that case it can be recognized and try successfully to align those frames. Scanning using the mobile phone is a little bit slower, I mean the fusion of the points and the meshing, but definitely the scanning experience is much more comfortable, so I really like it and probably I will use it much more often compared to the laptop version of the scanning. I couldn't get successful scans on a daylight, but at night or indoor it works great. This is my first experience with this scanner, but if the Revopoint will do these tutorials, then I will place those links down in the description of this video. If you have some additional experience with this scanner, you know, feel nice in the comment section. Thank you for watching and happy scanning!